Welcome back once again. Somebody asked me a question, and I've been holding on to some footage for a very long time, actually. Probably about a year. I'm probably going to use the short little 50-ish second clip that I recorded about a year ago or so. There's a very famous photograph of, I'm sure if you Google Prime Tanker, you've seen this photo. Google image search for Prime Tanker. You've probably seen the photo, or if you've followed any of the Facebook groups on Tanker, you've probably seen the photograph of a collapsed trailer. So I wanted to do a video about venting the tank. I have alluded to venting a tank, and I have never gone up top. I take that back. I've done it once. There is a very short video, and I'll link it in the description, of what's on top of these trailers. For Prime, there is what appears to be a rectangular box. Prime calls that the full dam enclosure, not D-A-M-N, full dam, D-A-M, enclosure. And the whole point of Prime's full dam enclosure is the dam is the sides, so that if anything were to overflow, what's called the dome lid, which is what you'll see in the video in my description. If anything were to overflow that, there is an area where it would be contained. Then there's a drain hose that comes out of that, and it would all drain down the side. Now, obviously, if you seriously overflow that, if you're not paying attention, this is if you're backfilling the trailer, it would then overflow the sides and I've seen that happen too. But moral of the story being, you see that box that has a sliding lid, and then inside of that there is a manhole cover. Basically, it's got 6 turnbuckle screws that hold the dome lid down, the manhole cover down. And again, look at the link in the description. There's a very short video basically just showing you what the dome lid looks like. And one of the reasons is it's very difficult to videotape up there without a second person videotaping me. And most of our trailers have a little platform you can stand on where 2 people can stand. Some of our trailers do not have that platform. I currently actually don't have a trailer, but the video you're going to see is one that does have that. But bottom line is, when you are unloading a trailer, or when you're backloading a trailer, and backloading a trailer means when you are loading from one of the 2 ports in the back. And if you're loading it, you're going to be loading through the top port, because you can't push product up through the pump. So the top port goes directly into the tank. So if you're loading through the back, you need to have that lid open. Or if you are unloading through either the top or the bottom using the pump port in the back of the trailer. And again, if you want more information, I'll put the video in the description again about our pump, us unloading. If you're unloading, that lid needs to be open. And it's basic physics, atmospheric pressure. If you have a container, say mostly drinking soda bottle, if I start taking something out of this without replacing the air inside of it, what's going to happen? It's going to squeeze. I mean, it's not rocket science. You suck on that, it's going to squeeze. Now, these trailers are stainless steel. It takes a heck of a lot of pressure. You can't just and have the thing collapse. But if you turn that pump on and pump for 10, 15, 20 minutes, That's a lot of pressure because, again, basic physics is pressure starts to build up and start to... I did mention this briefly, and I did put a link in the description of an earlier video where I talked about this, and the trailer, and Mythbusters did a show where they did a train car, a tank train car, and collapsed it. But there was a link in the description of one of my earlier videos where I had the truck trailer that they collapsed. So I've been hanging out of this video, and it's from the very famous Prime trailer that collapsed about a year ago. And the reason that I have the video is because it was at a facility that I go to fairly frequently. And it was at a place where we are not allowed to go on top of our trailers. The customer is responsible for that. And the customer failed to open the top of the trailer, and not me. This was not me. I did not collapse the trailer. But another one of our drivers started unloading without the top opened up, and that trailer collapsed. So, I'm going to show you that video. What happens when you start unloading without that lid open up. We'll go to that, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Here you go. This is why you vent a trailer. This one has collapsed in on itself. All the inward pressure has sucked the inside tank. You can see there's a lot of insulation. Has sucked the trailer in on itself. And that's all from unloading. Well, the vent on the top was closed. Basic atmospheric pressure. If you're pulling something out of a enclosed space, you gotta allow air in somehow. And there's that lid on top, and that's got to be open to allow air in. That doesn't happen. These things will crush themselves to death. Has happened with this one. So like I said, I've been hanging out of that video for a while. That happened at least a year or so ago. I don't remember the exact date, but I do know that the photograph, there's a fairly famous couple of photographs, one from kind of the front angle, one from the rear angle, that have circulated on the internet of that. That trailer was parked next to our unloading spot. Basically, they picked it up and they moved it about 10 feet to the left and let it sit there for quite a while, 4 to 6 months or so. Let it just sit there. And one time when I was unloading there, I took that video just for this purpose. And the reason that I wanted to make this video, not to make fun of that driver, it's very easy, very, very easy. The video that I have linked down below of our unload, our pump, it's a pretty simple process. It's a do this, then do this, do this, do this, do this. Follow the steps. Make sure you do everything, but don't skip a step. If you skip a step somewhere along the line, you can have product before you know it, 10 seconds after you start unloading, if you haven't put a strap on, a fitting, and that comes loose and you're unloading product onto the ground, if you forget to vent the trailer, if you forget any of these things, if you forget to open a valve, you open your 2 valves and you forget to open the valve on the building if they have a valve. One simple mistake can be a major problem, as obviously was the case in the video that I just shared. And it was one thing that was missed: venting the top of the truck. And it pretty much destroyed an $80,000 trailer. Now, why do I share that? Not to scare you and say this is an incredibly difficult job, but to show you the process that we go through. This. Everything needs to be done. Everything needs to be done before you start unloading. And if it's not done, it's a simple process. It's not the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. There's no doubt about that. But you have to make sure that it is all done. And it has to be done every single time. Not, well, you know, I did all these steps the last 5 times I unloaded today. I just don't feel like venting the tank. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to climb up on the ladder and vent the tank today because it's raining, it's snowing, it's windy. I don't want to do it. Well, that's what's going to happen if you decide to skip a step. So that's the whole purpose for it, just to show you that, you know, there are other jobs that I've had where you can skip a step in order to speed things up, in order to try and get home 5 minutes earlier. And the consequences are slim to none to, not that big a deal. Most of the steps in working in an 80,000 pound truck, if you say, well, we're going to skip that step, or we're going to move along quickly to the next step, and we're not going to completely check. I didn't completely check the trailer number. It's close enough. It's 1 number off. Good enough. The seal numbers. Trailers have seals. One on the back, one on the top. Well, those numbers aren't exactly correct either. Good enough. Well, you're going to get here and they're going to send you back, and you're not going to get paid for that. And then you're going to be late coming here, and it's going to be your fault that you're late coming here. So, steps that are skipped or missed or glossed over or not that big a deal can be very, very costly. So that's the whole point of this video. Just about nothing in this is rocket science. It's 99% common sense. I honestly think almost everyone can be taught how to drive a truck. Almost everyone can be taught how to unload a trailer properly, whether it's the customer or whether it's ours. It's just a matter of paying attention to what you're doing, making sure it's all done correctly. If you need to have a list and a check mark and mark it all off, do that. But just a little reminder that if you don't do everything, that you're going to be spending some money, because Prime's going to send you a bill for a trailer if you decide, you know what, I don't want to climb up on top and vent the tank today because it's snowing out. So that's what that's all about. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I've been hanging on to that video for a while, just based on a conversation I had today. Felt like sharing. Thanks for watching. Again, if you want to come to Prime, click on the link in the description. I'll take you right to the application. You don't have to go out and search for it. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again next week.